Hi, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome to Career Coach Office Hours for February 22nd, 2022. I spend time twice weekly on Tuesdays and Fridays talking with you about some aspects of job search or fielding questions about job search, hiring more effectively, management, leadership, different workplace issues. Uh, and next week, the show is moving next Tuesday, which is March 1st. We're moving it to 1 p.m. Eastern. So excuse me for repeating these announcements, but I just want to make sure if you're a regular with the show, I want to make sure you know about it. It's really that simple. So I answer questions about job search, hiring, management, leadership, or helping you with a workplace issue. And if you have a question for me before the show, you can email it to me at thebiggamehunter@gmail.com. In the subject line, put the phrase office hours. This way I can organize myself as I've done with the questions I received for today. And if not, you can always come to the show, put your question in the chat. I'd be very happy to answer it. And again, thanks for watching on YouTube, on LinkedIn as a LinkedIn Live, on Facebook at the Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter channel, or page on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Facebook. I'm sorry. I had a good session with someone right before. I'm still lost in that session. So I'll also say, if you want more from me, you can always visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us, to schedule time for a free discovery call, coaching session, to visit my blog, which has more than 12,000 posts in it, find about my courses, books, and guides. Also, subscribe to JobSearchTV.com on YouTube and No BS Job Search Advice Radio and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you'll listen to podcasts. I release a lot of great information for job hunters and for people who are hiring, management, need support with leadership, and more. So again, if you've got a question, please put it into chat. I'd be happy to answer it for you today. And let me just start off with my first question. After 3 interviews, the fourth will be the last one, they emailed that they are still in the process of interviewing and they have my resume on deck or on their desk. It says on desk, and will reach out to me when they have the perfect position. What does it mean? The answer is you were rejected for that job and they're interviewing other people. They don't think you're good enough and they're moving on from you. But they're giving you a nice placebo that basically says, don't call us, we'll call you if we have something for you. They're trying to be nice and let you down slowly, but they've let you down. They're telling you that you're not, they'll be in touch with you when they have something for you. It's really that simple. Do recruiters have a say in hiring? Now, for those of you who are recruiters, I know you know the answer is yes, but not everyone does. And the key words are there is a say. You have a say in hiring. You don't make the ultimate decision in most organizations, right? The hiring manager does, and understandably, this person works for them. And like a parent, it reflects upon them. Once this person's on board and you've onboarded them, you're done with them, right? But the hiring manager has to live with them. So yes, they have a say, and they certainly have a lot of influence on the hiring. After all, if you've discerned something about this person that makes them questionable, you're telling the hiring manager, of course, right? So yes, they have a say, but they're not making the ultimate decision. They have a say in this process. They don't decide per se in most cases, in almost all cases. Okay. How do you know if a candidate's references are lying to you? My goodness, this is now the fourth question in this series that I do. I'm saying this as a joke. Their lips are moving. And I say that as a joke for the simple reason that there's an old joke in the recruiting profession. How can you tell an applicant is lying to you? Their lips are moving. How can you tell one of your institutional customers is lying to you? Their lips are moving. And of course, how can you tell a third party recruiter is lying to you? Their lips are moving. And ultimately, these are the choices. Uh, when you are talking to a reference, it is rare that they're giving you full textured information. They've been provided by the candidate, and of course they're going to say wonderful things about them, right? How many references have you ever heard say, "Oh, this person's awful. Ugh, I hate them. Terrible person." No, it just doesn't happen. Again, it's provided by the um, the job hunter. So, should it surprise you that the reference is going to be a good reference? Of course not. And you know that. But the question is, how can you tell? Now, the way to tell is by digging in deeper, talking with him in more detail about the work this person's been doing. And how they went about doing it, what their successes were, what the problems were with them, failures that they had. Dig deeper, not just one question, go two levels down. Listen for hemming and hawing and procrastination. That's going to tell you something about whether or not this is a real reference who really knows the person or not. So, are there specific questions I would ask? No, because they're really tailored to the specific job hunter, but and the specific type of work the job hunter does. Dig deeper, find out about their role, responsibilities, accomplishments, their failures, what problems existed, um, what they did when they struggled. Go off script. Make the person go off script. That's going to tell you a lot uh, about what this person really did, how they went about doing it, et cetera, et cetera. So go deeper. That's really your way. If you stay on the surface, they have a scripted answer. You could have their son or daughter giving you a reference for all you know. But once you dig in deeper, you'll know if they're lying. What are common mistakes that new or experienced managers make? What could be done differently? I'm going to deal with one type of manager here, and that's the manager who's been promoted into the role within a firm. And they're taking over a group that they work side by side with the people in this group. And thus, the mistake is not clearing the air with the team about what the differences are that they can expect with you. And by that, I'm referring to, hey, look, I know we worked together for a long time, but I've got a different role now. And I want your support. I know you're not going to agree with everything I do and say. You didn't do it when I was, working side by side with you. Now that I'm a manager, I know you're not going to do that. I make a joke out of it. But what I appreciated is your support. And if you disagree, come to me. Come to me. Let's talk about it. So that in this way, you're enrolling them in your management. You're enrolling them in your leadership so that in this way they feel a part of it. Don't immediately do things differently about getting together for lunch or coffee or what have you. Unless there's a conflict in your calendar, try and maintain a couple of things that are the same before you pull away. But the mistake is not clearing the air about how things are going to be different now that you've been promoted, because they are going to be different. You are going to make decisions or have to reprimand people at times who don't perform. That's part of the territory. And you need to be aware of it as you step into the role. Okay, so that's the big mistake. I'm just going to remind you, if you have questions about job search, hiring better, management, leadership, or want some advice on a particular workplace issue, put your question into chat. This way I can support you and answer your question. Okay. Um, you interview with a company that says they will check references, but they never have. What do you do? Well, they're not ready to hire you, or they're not hiring you. So they're not checking references. Firms don't check references until the point they're ready to make the hire. It's really that simple. If you're still in the process of interviewing, they're going to wait until the very end, until they've made the decision you're the one that they want, or one of two people, or however many finalists there are. That Then they're going to wind up checking references. Before then, it's too much work for them. So they limit it to the people that they're close to hiring. So again, they're not at the point where they're ready to make that choice. So don't sweat it unless they've gone dark on you. They've gone dark. Reach out to them. Say, hey, haven't heard from you about that next interview. Do something. Email or text them, however you've been communicating with them. Try and get on their calendar and thus express your interest. But if they normally check references and they haven't done it yet, either you've been rejected or they're still evaluating and they're not ready to extend an offer. Should employers require experience for entry-level positions? Well, yeah, certain types of positions. So, for example, if you're interviewing for, I don't know, I'm going to use an example, a nursing position. It's nice if you had experience as a nurse, or if you were going to work in tech, um, maybe in cyber. And, maybe it'd be nice if you owned a computer and went online sometimes and maybe done a couple of things so that they don't have to teach you how to turn the thing on or what have you. It'd be a nice thing to have some basic experience there. And no one's going to expect a rookie, because that's the way I always refer to entry level people. No one expects a rookie to have the in depth knowledge of a veteran person. That's the reality to it. You don't have it. But they like to see some version of experience. It could be an internship. It could be a part-time job. Is it necessary for it to be for the exact work that you're going to be doing for them as a beginner? No, at least for most situations, because they're going to hire you and train you, but they want some of the fundamentals underneath you. And again, that can be part of your academic work, plus an internship that you did or a part-time job that you had. But let me give you an example of where it's not going to pay off for you. I'm going to use, in a medical venue. Okay, you went to college, you got a degree. Great, they're not going to make you a doctor. You go to med school, and you're not at the point of an internship. You haven't done an internship. They're not going to hire you to be a doctor. You go through the internship, and yeah, they got a shot at being a doctor. So again, they like to see experience. That doctor would be an entry-level doctor at that medical center or at that doctor's office that they're working in. They're the junior, and they're taking on the new patients, right? So no, they don't expect you to have a lot of experience, but they expect you to have some experience. Okay. Let's go to the next one. I have an interview scheduled with a company recruiter. Is it okay to tell them I need to postpone the interview a few days? Yeah. If you're not ready, or you're dealing with some sort of a family emergency or some other scenario, by all means, reschedule. Don't tell them I need a couple of days to brush up. I'm rusty. Don't do stupid stuff like that. Just simply say, I can't do it today. Could we do it on? You pick something 2-3 days out. And they'll generally say, sure. And if they don't, they may say, we've got a couple of people in the loop that we're interested in, but we wanted to talk to you. Any possibility you could do it sooner? I can't do it today. Maybe I could do it, and you pick 2 days out, or tomorrow. And just, you're going to have to cram, just like you did for courses. So Yes, you can postpone, but listen to what they tell you as to whether or not there's an option for you to get back in the door fairly soon. Okay? Just going to remind you if you've got questions, put them in the chat. I'd really like that. And this way I can answer some of your questions. And they still have plenty more here. What does promoted next to job listings on LinkedIn mean? Does it mean that it's a free ad like any other posting? No, they paid for it to be prominently placed so that it was an earlier position in the results ahead of the organic search results. And thus, you are going to see it because it's like a pay-per-view situation. So no, it's not free. They're paying for that placement so that you see it and it's not hidden from view from them. Okay. Oh, what an attitude this person has. Is LinkedIn even important for the application and hiring process? Jeez, as someone has woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know it's important. That's why you're on the platform to begin with. But you're not getting results. That's the problem from your vantage point. You're not getting results from it. So you're blaming the platform and not you. What could you be doing differently? Are you just sending your profile? And it's the same profile that you're sending to every job as though all these jobs are the same. Are you submitting a resume in lieu of the profile? And is it the same resume for everything? Are you sending things aspirationally? Because I'd really like to do this. I have no experience doing it, but I really like to do it. You're not going to get interviews that way. Have a LinkedIn profile that's keyword rich, related to what you want to be doing and have done up until this point. So this way, firms and their recruiters who are searching for someone like this can find you. From there, the idea is how can you become visible? Well, for those recruiters, the keywords are going to be how they find you. From there, if you're applying and you're submitting your profile has to be rich in the keywords. The resume you submit has to be rich with these keywords. You know the answer to that. So, yes, it remains important. It's essential these days that people have great profiles. They're on the platform. They're developing their brand on the platform so that people can find them. And this way, not just simply when you're actively looking for work, but when you're not actively looking for work and third party and corporate recruiters are reaching out to find someone like you, that they have the ability to find you. Yeah. What makes a good leader? Well, the flip answer is followers. But the more textured answer, I saw a quote from Jack Welch. I think it was this morning, as a matter of fact. I don't recall the exact quote, but when you're developing your leadership, you're developing yourself, you're trying to learn and grow. When you are the leader, your goal is, and what defines your success is how you develop the people reporting to you so that they're successful. Leaders inspire, they don't motivate. They get people excited. And as Coach Lance Secretan says, they light a fire within someone. They don't light a fire unless it's absolutely necessary underneath someone. Sometimes you may have to do it. Someone's in a funk. Something's happening. You have to pull them back in. But you're doing things to grow your team, make them more successful, inspiring them to get great results. And like a parent with a young child, what they do reflects upon you. So understand that, be inspiring, and that's what makes a good leader. Is it legal for a potential employer to ask for a pay stub? Yes, it is legal. What they're trying to do is to verify that what was on your application was truthful. It's really that simple. So, yes, you can provide a fraudulent one, but probability is they're going to find out. Maybe you get away with it for a while, but they're going to find out because firms cooperate with one another. Even after you provide the pay stub, they're going to send something to your previous employer to verify your wages. But the pay stub is the short-term fix to verify that what you filled out on the application or what you told them orally is true about what you're earning. So yes, it is absolutely legal. I'm not aware of any place in the country where it isn't legal. If you're aware, put a comment into chat, no matter how long, how far in the future this is, put that into chat so other people are aware. I took early retirement a while ago and need to return to the workforce. But while I've emailed thousands of resumes, I haven't gotten a single interview. Do I have any suggestions? Yeah, stop spamming your resume. What you're doing isn't working. It's you're sending resumes out and you're flipping them like burgers at a fast food restaurant. And when you do that, it's telling me you're not reading job descriptions. You're just applying en masse. Maybe you stumble into something. What does work, you've been retired, reach out to former coworkers. See if they can recommend you for jobs at their firm or at other firms that they've worked at previously, if they could recommend you. So that in this way, you have social proof from someone who knows this person uh, that you'd really work out well. And in the meantime, get up to speed, um, reacclimate yourself, retrain yourself, refresh your knowledge so that you don't embarrass them in the interviews. So that's the simplest way to do it. Oh, yeah, I love this one. How can I motivate myself to work hard? So I'm going to go back to inspiration versus motivation. Obviously, you need to have someone light a fire underneath you. Right now, you really don't care about the work. That's the fact of it. If you really cared, you wouldn't be asking this question. So the simplest thing to do is to find work that you give a damn about instead of doing crap work. And I say crap work because that's the way you view it. If you're not motivated, if you don't give a rat's ass about doing a good job, you don't care. You don't care. And you know it, and so do they. So find work that you care about. And that will excite you and allow you to be successful in your work. Barring that, I'm going to remind you of the phrase give more, get more. The more you put out, the more people get to know your work, like it, and trust you. And from that, they'll wind up really admiring you and you'll enjoy the work more. When someone talks about needing motivation, like I said, you don't like what you do, you're bored, disinterested, hate it, whatever it is. And you got to fix that. You've got to fix that because otherwise, it's not an enjoyable existence. It's not an enjoyable life. You want to do work that you enjoy. Go find it. And if you don't know what that work would be, you can go to, well, I'll have a link in the show notes, but orally I'll tell you thebiggamehunter.us/career. And it'll take you to a firm that provides assessments. And if you order the premium service, they'll recommend certain careers for you. Again, thebiggamehunter.us/session, and you'll get what you need from it. Okay? Next question. Boy, it's a quiet day in the chat. A lot of shy people. Um, how do you answer? Do you always follow the rules? Interview question. So, what kind of job are you going for? That's the launch point of this. Is it something where they want to bring on someone who's going to do what they're told, or they want someone who can think? So, thinking is one of those discrete skills that firms say they want, but don't always really want. So, when you're answering this question, you have to take into consideration the job involved. And even with that, you can say something along the lines of, you know, especially at the beginning, you know a lot better than I do what it takes to be successful. So I'm going to listen to you and follow the rules. But I would expect that you'd want me to come back to you if I saw something problematic and get your okay to change things. Is that following the rules? I'll let you decide whether it's following the rules. Some people would say, nah, not really, because you're trying to get the rules changed. But I would view it as following the rules. Again, you'd lay it out as, you know, you know better than I what it takes to be successful. So you're going to probably tell me what to do, and I'm going to go out and do it. But I would also expect that you want me to bring to your attention certain things that don't work in the environment so that they can be changed. If you think that's following the rules, I'm okay with that. If you don't think it is, I'm okay with that too. Doesn't matter. But you want me to be able to think, not just simply be a nice rule follower. Last question for today, unless someone puts something in chat. Why are so many people content with just earning a salary and working 9 to 6 their entire adult life? Whew. Um, People have priorities in life. And in earning a salary and working 9 to 6, I'm going to interpret that as doing boring work. It's kind of like there was an old Rolling Stones song, um, well respected man, where you know he's a well respected man about town, doing the best things so conservatively, and he's a predictable guy, and there's nothing wrong with being predictable. They may find comfort in knowing that they can do these tasks as assigned, and then they can go home and watch the telly and have dinner with their wife, husband, partner, play with the kids. Their priority is do their job and go home. They may not have major aspirational qualities as you have. So, from the standpoint of why they do this, I think I just explained it. But that isn't you if you're asking this question. Find your way to be great. Don't take it easy. Be great. Push yourself to excellence. Again, push yourself to excellence. Be extraordinary. Be great. It does make a difference in how people see you. And some people are going to make fun of you and call you names. So what? It's their way of chopping you down. You just go out there and be great. People will notice that too, especially those who are the critics. They'll notice it and eventually they'll give up as you start moving up the ranks and pass them by. So, without any more questions in chat, I'll just simply say, I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you found today's show helpful. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, share it, leave a comment, click the like button. If you're watching on LinkedIn, do the same, share it, click the like button, do something that lets people know it was worthwhile. Also, visit my website, thebiggamehunter.us. I've got a ton of great information there, fully searchable. You can watch, listen to it, or read it. You can schedule time for coaching with me, schedule time for a discovery call, Find out about my courses, books, and guides. My interview course, by the way, is terrific. The Ultimate Job Interview Framework is a terrific course that will teach you how to interview better than anyone else. Also, I'm going to encourage you, subscribe to JobSearchTV on YouTube and No BS Job Search Advice Radio and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to it. You'll learn a lot. They'll help you in your search. Well, actually, the podcast will just help you in the search. And connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/The Big Game Hunter. I hope you have a terrific day, and most importantly, be great. Take care.